is up, everyone? All right, today we're gonna do a little coffee chat. I've got oh my gosh, I just spilled the coffee. Guys, no! Hold on. Oh, crisis averted. I've cleaned it up. I was trying to say I've got my coffee, now I don't. I'm finding more places that it spilled. I've got it like in my pencil shirt. Oh. Anyway, so what a kerfuffle. Also, I've been using that word more recently, kerfuffle, and my mom was telling me she watches some of my videos and that she wasn't telling me that she watches them. I knew that. But she was saying she's never heard that word kerfuffle. I was like, I thought I learned that from you, Mom. Whatever. Anyway, so today we're just gonna chat and get ready together and just catch up. I did want to take a second to thank today's video sponsor, which is HelloFresh. We've been using HelloFresh's meal delivery service for years now. We absolutely love it. You guys know Tyler and I both like to cook, but there are those weeks that it is just so much easier to order HelloFresh. We have our meals planned for us. We don't need to worry about what to add to the grocery list. I love that they send you really easy to follow recipe cards with step-by-step instructions on how to cook it. So even if you're not super comfortable, it really lays it out easily for you. And if you're especially busy this fall, HelloFresh has meals covered with a weekly selection of over 30 recipes and over 70 convenience items that are just delivered to your door. And they've got ripe, just picked produce that travels from the farm to your door in less than a week. And they also have delicious sweets, and they get the whole family involved with their limited edition baking kits, which just sounds so cool. But at the end of the day, it saves us time, it saves us money, it saves us stress. They have kid-friendly recipes that are great for picky eaters, and we certainly have one in our family. And I just feel like the fall season can be really busy, but weeknights are made so much easier with their recipes. I really feel like it saves us so much time. A lot of their recipes are super quick and easy. They take under 20 minutes, some of them. And I love that the plans are really flexible. You can change your meal preferences, you can update your delivery day, and even change your address with just a few taps on the app. They've got veggie, pescatarian, and fit and wholesome meals available. And HelloFresh is the first carbon neutral meal kit company, and nearly all of their packaging is recyclable. And of course, their pre-portioned ingredients means there's less prep for you and less food waste. And it actually cuts down on food waste by at least 25% compared to grocery shopping. So if you want to check out HelloFresh for yourself, you can go to HelloFresh.com and use code JBraun65 for 65% off plus free shipping. I'll have the link and code down at the top of the description box for you if you are interested in checking it out. It looks so good. I already cut my piece of chicken so you don't have to awkwardly watch me cut it. It's always good. I have to say, I think, Tyler, this should be our like go-to chicken recipe. You know, like we always are like, what should we do with chicken? It's so good because it's got sour cream, and then there's like panko breadcrumbs and cheese and Italian seasoning.
Yeah, I feel like we always have like chicken and we're like, all right, what are we gonna do with it?
Oh, it's the couscous, man. There's butter. That lemon zest is in there. I could just eat a bowl of just this couscous, nothing else for dinner. It's so good. So let us go back in time and hang out and get ready together. Alrighty, so I am excited. I just took some screenshots of some questions and topics you guys brought up. And then also I just have some things floating around, and I've got some like standby makeup I use all the time, but I also have a few new things that I didn't have plans to like try in a future video. So I was like, I'll just toss them in here. We can try them out together. So just gonna be a super fun video. I'm also sitting not in like well, I guess it's not that different than my normal one. It's hard to explain, but basically I'm at my new desk that's more L-shaped. And so I'm able to use part of my desk to film on today, and that's pretty cool because I was on the floor last time I was filming here, if you recall. I just took some more screenshots and we've got some juicy things to talk about. I'm gonna see how long I can keep this little sweater on because I'm kind of getting toasty, but it's like cool outside, so I'm feeling that vibe. Anyway, so I'm gonna throw on some Milani SPF BFF. I use this all the time. It's a really good face SPF, and it's like, I think $7.99, something around there. It's definitely under $10, and it's just a good one. It doesn't have a white cast. It really blends in fast. And I was thinking the other day, like how many SPFs, like face makeup-y SPFs have I tried? And I don't know. I've probably tried like 40. I've tried genuinely so many, and this is absolutely one of the best ones, not just at the drugstore, but just in general, one of the best ones. So I wanted to mention it because it really is so nice. It makes the skin look like this looks like a high-end SPF. I need some lip balm on these lips though. This is the Tatcha Kissu lip mask. Such a bougie product, but oh my gosh, I love it. Try to like use it sparingly. Okay, well, speaking of cooler weather, you guys asked, what are you most excited for about fall? Now listen, there's the obvious things, like I love the cooler weather and the leaves changing and pumpkin spice lattes, if you will, you know, pumpkin-y coffee and things like that. Love that. But one of my favorite things, I was realizing this morning as I was driving in, I was like, you know what? With the weather cooler, I love driving with the windows down. No, you know, you don't need any AC or heat or anything because it's just the right temperature. And just driving and listening to really good music and just looking at the leaves changing. Now, the leaves have not changed here yet, at least the day I'm filming this. They're starting to. But just that idea of just driving and enjoying what the world looks like in the fall and listening to great music, windows down, that's one of my favorite things. That's also one of my favorite things about the spring too. Because same thing, like the weather's decent, you don't really need AC or heat depending on the day, and seeing things flower. So that's something that I've learned to appreciate even more as I've gotten older for sure. But of course, I still love all the pumpkin-y stuff and I love the decor. We need to get our fall stuff out. Hopefully by the time you're seeing this, we finally have it out. But because we're doing some fall travel, it's like, well, I want to get it up so that we can enjoy it enough. And we're kind of moving away. We love, okay, so we own a lot of like spooky Halloween decorations, and we bought a lot of it before we had kids. Now, I actually think the spooky, not like super creepy spooky, but like fun spooky can be really fun with kids, right? But my thing is, if I'm gonna take the time to decorate, it's nice to have decorations that can stay up from like September all the way through November. And then, you know, we switch over for the Christmas season for us. So that's one thing I've thought about a lot is last year we decorated with more just kind of general fall stuff, more like cozy pumpkins and leaves versus like witches and ghosts, even though I love that. So we put up some stuff because it is still fun, and I think Gigi thinks it's fun. Anyway, what's the point of me saying that? I don't know. I guess that's something I never really realized until a few years ago, that there's like two camps of like decorating for fall. Like some people only do the cozy fall vibes, others do only spooky stuff, and then some people just do, you know, some kind of mix. But it's just kind of funny. Like that is definitely a thing. There's like two camps. This is I use the NYX Born to Glow foundation on my face. And then this is the NYX, what's it actually called? Bear With Me Concealer Serum. Better slow down, this video is gonna be over before I've begun. Do you still enjoy making videos? Yes, I hope that comes through. I hope you're not like, she seems over it. I just spit all over. It may be on the lens. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, yes, and actually I was just talking on my Instagram story the other day that I really am feeling even more happy and excited about my channel and my videos than I have in a very long time, and that makes me super happy. This is new. This is the Lawless Shape Up Soft Fill Brow Pencil. I swatched all the shades. This was sent to me, and I picked the shade Pecan. I think that's gonna be a good match, but it might be a little too warm. I haven't used brow pencils regularly in a while. Ooh, this is going on kind of soft though. Like it's kind of easy to move around and spread the color out. Well, that was nice. I do think it's a little warm though, don't you think? Compared to like my hair color. But the one that was like this one was in cacao. It's probably too dark for me, but it broke. It like, the thing came out and I've even tried to put it in, and every time I try to like get it back down in there, it pops out. So I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, yes, I am still enjoying making videos. I hope that comes through. It makes me sad that one of you guys had to ask it, but, ooh, too hard, Jess. Oh no. This is why I've moved away from using pencil too much. Have you guys seen the trick where, I should have done it here, where you brush your brows down? It looks so crazy to me. And then wherever you see the sparse areas is where you should fill in a little bit. And then when you brush the brows like kind of back into place, it's filled in like just ever so perfectly. It actually works really well. not bad. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, this is pricey. I still need to use it some more, and that shade is not terrible, but I just don't think it's perfect. So it's not bad. I like the consistency of the product. I just need to find the right shade match. I've gotten a lot of questions about our recent trip to California, San Diego, and like Disneyland. I talk a lot about that in my Get Ready With Me I did in California, which has been live for a bit. So I'll link that video down below because that was really fun. And I go into a lot of those details. So if you're wanting to hear about that, definitely check that out after. Plus we chat about other stuff too, but it's just in there. So speaking of my channel, has your makeup collection changed since you started doing more vlog style videos and less makeup? No, it hasn't changed. I really need to declutter some more. I've been doing it by category, but there's a part of me that's like, I think it's just time to like rip the Band-Aid off and do a whole collection declutter. I still want to have a collection because I do still enjoy that, and I'm still planning on talking about makeup here. Like, it's not gone, but I definitely have gotten to the point where I know what I like, and I can pretty quickly see for myself whether it's something I need to keep or not. Maybe I share in a video like I don't really like it and then it can go, versus holding on to it in case I do a declutter in the future. That's pretty backwards, but that's kind of the way, because I know I like to do decluttering videos. So I think I might need to do like one big daddy declutter video and just like declutter a lot of it down. But yeah, I think it hasn't really changed, but I definitely am honing in more on, okay, in my daily life, what am I actually grabbing? Because there are just certain things that it may be a good performing product, but if I don't ever use it, who cares? Like, why am I holding on to it? I can give it to a sister, a friend, whatever, and they can enjoy it if it's something they would actually use. Hopefully that makes sense. So I also wanted to try, this is the Lawless Creamy Brow Wax. They have light, medium, and medium dark. Light medium looks very light, so I'm gonna go with medium dark. Hopefully it's not too dark, but it's just like one of those teeny tiny brushes. This is definitely the kind of product I would prefer using, like just this versus a pencil and this. That reminds me, I actually need to order some of the Grande Brow Serum. So again, I like this. I could see myself actually using the medium dark. So this is that shade I can pass on to a sister, but I'm gonna put this in my vanity because I actually think I will get good use out of that. And I haven't really tried a new product like that in a while. So that's kind of nice. Also, I've got my little Mickey Mouse mug. This just makes me so happy. Something we don't know about you already. Did you know that, I'm trying to think, what don't you guys know? Did you know that I am Irish? And when I say I am Irish, I mean I am very full-blooded Irish. Like I've never done any of the like 23andMe, is that what it is? You know, those kinds of DNA type tests, but my brother has. Actually, I want to say both brothers have, but I know my brother Michael has. And it's like, on my dad's side, it's literally like 1,000,000% Irish. Like, there's not even like any, like usually it's like, oh, it's 60% Irish and 20% German and this and the other. No. It's like 98%, like all the way back Irish. So that's pretty cool. And I did know about my family that, is that the color I used? Uh-oh. Yeah. Okay, yeah. That my, I don't know what generation back, but great-grandparent, maybe more, came over during the Irish potato famine. And then some of my family from that same side, we vlogged about going to Mackinac Island in Michigan. And some of my family members from that side from Ireland actually like owned a hotel or two there. Some of them helped build the Grand Hotel there. So we have like a lot of family history there and family buried on Mackinac Island, which is really neat. We did not know that. No one in my family knew that until the past decade. Like, a lot of my family members have started going up there and doing some digging, and we've learned a lot. So that's really cool. So yeah, it's just super Irish. I don't know. Did you know that about me? Maybe if you knew my maiden name Murphy, you probably gleaned that, but just saying. And I guess I should say that's all my dad's side. So my mom, she also has a lot of Irish, but she has a lot of other stuff too. Best quality time date ideas. My husband and I are plateauing on ideas. Girl, if I had any, I'd use them myself. I feel like we have not, we do get to hang out from time to time, like alone. Like during the workday, especially right now, we finally have some help with Felicity too. And so we actually are having focused work time. So we're together alone. And so our like lunches are kind of like dates, but it's not the same as like genuinely setting aside time and like going out on a date. So we have gotten into going to concerts. We never really were into going to a lot of concerts, and there's something about this last year, we've just been like looking up and seeking out our favorite artists and like buying tickets. And those have been really fun date nights for us. We've gone to like comedy shows, so you know, that's not something we do like every week or every month, but it has been really enjoyable and something kind of different, like grabbing dinner before or grabbing dessert after or something. It's been really fun. Also, this palette was the Naked Half Baked palette. I used to love this shade Half Baked, where is it? So much, but I'm using the shade Rocky all over the lid. That's just really, I mean, it's hardly visible, huh? I wasn't even gonna put on eyeshadow today, honestly, but here we are. I am gonna get a little bit of Buck off and throw it in the crease. A lot of questions about kids, babies, pregnancies. I'll put that towards the end of the video, so if you're not into it, by that point you can fly your own little way there. Would you ever in the future become a full-time lifestyle channel? I mean, I think what I've realized, I used to be so caught up in like defining exactly the direction of my channel or what it was, and I've just kind of realized that it doesn't really matter. Like everything is so dynamic and in flux, and my interests change over the years. So I don't know that it's necessary for me to decide for myself. And this is a realization I'm still having. It's not necessary for me to decide now, like, what shall my channel be? I'm just kind of making videos that I feel like making. And if you want to come along for the ride, great. And I know sometimes some of you guys are super into my makeup ones and not the others, and that's cool. So you watch those, and we, you know, that's just the way it is. The internet is a very vast place. There's stuff for everyone. And so, you know, if I ever moved on to doing things that you were not into and we needed to part ways, it's okay, man. It's all good. So, you know, I'm trying not to get so bogged down in deciding. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm kind of embarrassed to say this. I filmed an entire video, and so I've had an editor for a while, and then I got a new editor. I edited this one myself. This was like a month and a half ago, and it was actually all on this topic. And I got like weirdly emotional. I think I still had some like hormones I was working through, it was all so serious. I was so serious about like the direction of my channel. And after I edited, I'm like, yeah. And I literally was uploaded, but it was private, and I was gonna make it live. And I thought about it, I was like, I'm not gonna make this live because none of this is that serious. That's what I kept thinking about. I'm like, why am I making this, the idea of like what my channel is about? Why is it's not that serious? Like, I don't know. I mean, it is, like, this is my job, but you know what I'm saying. So I've really taken a step back from stressing about like that. I used to think about it and talk about it all the time, and I'm trying to just kind of go with the flow. And you know, some months might be more makeup heavy, some months might not be, and we're just gonna see what happens. Cheers to that. But I appreciate when you guys ask, I hope that wasn't taken as like I didn't like that question. I appreciate that question because obviously that's been on my mind a lot too. I mean, I literally filmed an entire video about it. Would you ever adopt a cat? No. And not because I don't like cats. My mom's allergic, so she would never be able to come over. Like literally, it just wouldn't. We don't have cats in the family because my mom can't be around it, and we all want my mom to be around at our houses, so it's just not an option. And that's okay. Did you finish it? Bring it on in, baby. Tyler's actually creating, yay! Oh my gosh, it looks a lot like this one. Well, you roll it into the shot and then roll it out of the shot. I'm getting lazy. Looks a lot like this chair. This is gonna be my new filming chair. Where did I get this? Wayfair? Anyway, he's building, he put this together. Thank you, Tyler. In a new little filming desk that's gonna kind of fit in the corner, and you'll see it. I will eventually, I think I'm gonna film like an actual workspace tour soon. Let me know if you'd be interested. I think that'd be really fun. If I don't do it on my channel, we might include it like in Vlogmas. We'll see how we fit it in, but anyway, he's building me a new little filming desk. I mean, I bought it. He's putting it together, I should say. But it actually folds, so I can like push it out of the way when I'm not filming and then like pop it back out, and it's got some drawers. It's really kind of cool. Wait, I got this chair on Amazon. I was gonna say, was it Wayfair? But I think I got this chair on Amazon, and the folding desk I know I got on Amazon, so I can link it below if you were curious. Okay, what were we talking about? Oh, okay. A book you think everyone will like. 100%. Oh, what's it called? Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Lori Gottlieb. I hope I'm saying her last name correctly. It is written by a therapist, and it's about you know, her role as a therapist and like experiences she's had with patients, but then also her going to another therapist and that relationship. It is so wildly interesting. Obviously, she had to change a lot of the names and scenarios because you can't just share about what people, you know, but, and she explains all that in it, but it is, I thought it'd be like interesting. That was one of my favorite books I've ever read. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I just genuinely think it is so interesting to hear about a therapist's experiences as a therapist and then also them going to therapy. Like, it's so wild. Even if you've never, ever, ever considered therapy, been to therapy, it doesn't matter. I think this is a book that would be interesting to anyone. So I highly recommend it. Like, I would read that again every year just because it's so interesting, but that's crazy. There's lots of books out there, Jessie, to read. The Braun family Halloween costumes this year. We are gonna be, should I keep it a secret? I'll just give you this. We are all gonna go as like a team from one Disney movie. We'll say that, and then you'll see. I think it's really cute. We will definitely share pictures, no worries there. I appreciate comments like this. You've really grown to be my favorite. Good content variety. Thank you. I've realized, like, you know, I'm realizing I'm not even getting ready. Come on, Jess. Focus, 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 focus. I gotta take this off. It might mess with the lighting a little bit, but I'm just a little too hot. Just too hot. This is that Target. I literally bought a couple more colors of this because this is what I've been wearing like every single week. I'm like, yes, it's clean. This just like simple crew neck tee from Universal Thread at Target. It's like under 10 bucks. It's not see-through. How nice is that? It's hard to find a white tee that's not see-through. I don't feel like I have to wear a tank top under it. Anyways, I appreciate comments like saying things like you like the content variety, because I really do too. And a lot of my favorite channels have a variety. So another question I got was about meeting Taylor Wynn. I still can't believe I got to meet her, you guys. It was such a surreal thing. So first of all, I got to meet 2 of my favorite YouTubers all in the same week. How overwhelming. It was so overwhelming in the best way. So I met Amy Lynn Sattler, who has a YouTube channel. I freaking love her. I talked about her a little more in depth in my Get Ready With Me in California video. Again, shameless plug, check that out. That was surreal. I was so nervous. She was exactly as she was in videos. It was just lovely. Like, her and her husband, Bradley, I watched their vlogs. If you just want some like feel-good vlogs, they're the ones. Like, go check that out. They have a little one, a little boy, and he is freaking adorable. And anyway, so that was so surreal, so amazing. We met up in Disneyland. Yes, it was planned, and it was lovely. So then a few days later, I planned to meet up with Taylor Wynn, who I know most of you guys know of her channel because I talk about her a very weird amount. Suspiciously weird. Anyway, I was so nervous to meet her too. And she told me she was a little nervous too. I think it's like a healthy amount, like a healthy dose of nerves. Like, just meeting someone new, even though I feel like I know her so well. And same with Amy. Like, I feel like I know Amy so well, but I was nervous to meet both of them. And I think that, you know, that's just, I guess, to be expected. But what was I talking about? There was a reason I brought up Taylor, because it connected to what we just talked about. Oh, I was talking to her and we were just talking about like everything under the sun. It was so fun to like talk shop about YouTube and like behind the scenes stuff, because there's only so many people I can talk like that to that would understand the complexity of what we're talking about. And so that was really, honestly, like weirdly exhilarating to be able to talk shop, because like when I used to teach, I could talk shop to basically any teacher, but like any of the teachers in my grade level, and they, you know, we could be very detailed and specific and they would know what I mean. Well, within the YouTube world, there's only so many people that I can talk shop with, you know what I mean? And that with the specificity that I want to use. That was just really nice. We talked, honestly, we were at that restaurant for like 2 or 3 hours. It was a while. Again, I already forgot. What was that? Oh, content variety. So we were talking about like the directions of our channels kind of, and she was like, honestly, I don't really even, I hope she didn't mind me sharing this. I don't think she would. Taylor, maybe I'll text you, and if you are cool with it, I'll make sure to keep it in. Anyway, she was just talking about how like she feels like she doesn't really watch that many makeup videos anymore. I'm like, me either. Like, I don't mind making makeup videos and I'm still interested, but I really, like, if it's a YouTuber that only makes makeup videos, I'll watch one here or there if it's like super interesting to me, like the topic or the brand or whatever. But I do not consume makeup content the way I used to. It really is more of a mix. I'm way more into like lifestyle vlogs and just like recipes and family stuff. I mean, everything under the sun, fashion stuff, you know. I do appreciate comments like that you like my variety because that means a lot to me. I like having a little bit of variety, and I really did feel like for a few years there, I was just burning out on makeup because the passion wasn't as strong as it was. You know, if I've got enough passion to spread across, you know, one makeup video a week, I want to condense that into those videos versus trying to create all of this content focused on makeup when I'm really not as into it. I just want to do the makeup videos I want to do, brands I'm interested in, and subjects I'm interested in, you know, whatever the video may be. So, all right, enough about that. But meeting Taylor Wynn, it was just so incredible. She's so nice. She has the most beautiful smile. First of all, her teeth are literally perfect. Like, guys, do you ever meet someone and you can't stop looking at their teeth because they're so beautiful and white and literally perfect? That was her. I literally was like, Jessica, stop looking at her teeth. Anyway, she was just lovely and she has the most beautiful smile. And it's funny, I felt like, I don't know, like she was just so endearing. Like her smile was so endearing to me. And I feel like I see her smile in videos, but seeing it in person, it was just like, it's like a warm your heart kind of smile. So it was awesome. You know, they always say, don't meet your heroes, but I'm really glad I met two of mine because they were both just as lovely in person as they were online. Honestly, if not even more lovely. So there you go. There are the dirty details you wanted to know. Taylor got to play with Gigi a little bit, and Gigi buried Taylor's toes in the sand at the beach, which was just really cute. It was cute that Taylor let her. Because Gigi does not know a stranger. She will just, but she brought, literally I was taking Genevieve to preschool today. I wish I'd recorded it. And she said, Mommy, remember when I met your friend, Taywol? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, that was nice. I'm like, yeah. And then she said something, oh, I can't remember. But it was just cute that she remembered and she remembered her name. But she sees Taylor's face, like, and same with Amy. She sees their face, like when I'll be doing laundry and I put their videos on the screen. She sees them all the time. So she probably seemed super familiar to her anyway. I just got a text actually about her Halloween costumes. I'm so excited. Best advice for moving in with your significant other. You need to understand that, and this is coming from your big sis, here. You need to understand that there is going to be a period of adjustment. Think about it. I don't know how old you are, okay? But what I do know is that you've been living the way you've been living for a while. Whether you've been living alone with your parents, with another roommate, whatever, you're gonna have a certain way of doing things, of cooking things, of, you know, a cleanliness threshold that you're okay with, of organizing things, and they're gonna have their own way. And you have to understand that you guys are gonna have to figure that out together. You can't just decide, well, I've done it this way forever, so this has to be the way it is for us. Well, that's not fair because they're going through the same thing. And so kind of finding that common ground where, you know, like, okay, well then moving forward, how do we want to tackle this? You know what I mean? How do we wanna, and so it's just important to know that there are gonna be those times. It's inevitable, period. And you will eventually find your way together, but there is that learning curve. So I think that's one of the things that isn't talked about a lot. My dad and I were just talking about that the other day about a family member and just getting used to and adjusting to that new life with another person. It's hard. It can be really hard, but you get there. But it's good. I think just going into it knowing that is helpful. So I'm gonna try the NARS Laguna Bronzing Cream, which I've never tried. I just watched it there and it looks like kind of light, like the Say Sun Melt. So I'm excited about that. Have you watched Abbott Elementary? We just started watching it and we love it. So relatable if you've ever been a teacher, especially if you've been a teacher in a high need area, which I have. The first 2 years of teaching, it was, I don't know what you'd call like high need, but just that, you know, there were certain times you just didn't have what you need. I don't think it was as extreme as in Abbott Elementary, but I could definitely relate to a lot of that. And also just relating to just a lot of teacher struggles, like just in general. But I also think it's an important show because of that, like really highlighting that there is so much need. And then there are districts that have so much, like how do we more equally distribute this? Because, and I'm not gonna get, like this is not, I'm not trying to have a political conversation debate, please, please. That's not what I'm wanting, so don't even start it in the comments. I'm just saying from a teacher's perspective, I'm really enjoying that show so much. And also there's just so many cute moments in it and it just makes me happy. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. Why did I change editors? Nothing dramatic at all. I actually really, really liked my old editor. And she's still there for me if I like last minute need an editor and mine can't do a video, you know, there was nothing wrong. It really was just a matter of someone we like kind of know now was editing Tyler's videos, and they were kind of creating their own production company. And so I was like, well, you know, it'd be kind of nice if he edited mine as well, because he already edits for Tyler. And so that's really just how it got started. It was nothing dramatic with my old editor. I freaking loved her. She did an amazing job. And if you are a YouTuber in need of an editor, let me know, because I can find out if she's looking to edit some more. And because she really was amazing, and she could do stuff like really like quick turnarounds, etc. So nothing crazy or bad or anything like that. It just kind of happened the way it happened, honestly. Okay, how did I not react to what I just put on? That applied so freaking easily. Did you guys see how smooth that looks? What the heck? This may be better than the Say Sunmelt. Like it's certainly, it's just so similar. I don't know if it's better or not. It's very, very similar. That is also, so that and the little eyebrow cream, those are gonna go into my vanity at home for sure. I'm so elated about that. Do you miss your life before kids, or is your life better after having them? I mean, I don't know a single parent that would say your life isn't better after having them, but I will, being completely honest with you, it's just such an adjustment, and I've talked a lot about that too. I mean, that's no surprise. It's a huge adjustment going through something like that. I need to grab a blush. I think I've just learned to find joy that I didn't used to find in life since having kids. And I'm trying to think of like a good example to explain more of what I mean, but there's just something about it. Like, I feel like having kids makes you appreciate things that you didn't used to, because you're almost seeing things from their perspective a little bit more often, especially once they get to a talking age. It's funny because I've got a lot of friends that have recently had their first baby. I get a kick out of hearing them talk about certain things because, you know, I've been through all of this before. And I think sometimes my friends forget that we've gone through it before. And it's really sweet and endearing, but it's just funny because I'll hear things from them and I'm like, yeah, I know. But I probably did the same thing. Like that's what's so funny. But anyway, my point is I just really appreciate and enjoy certain parts of life that I didn't used to appreciate before. And I love that about it. It's making me slow down a lot more. And it's also, to be honest, forcing us to break bad habits. Like, you know, we drink a lot less. Like right now we're just kind of taking a break from drinking at all. Just because we just feel like it's time to kind of just take a step back, and it's been feeling really nice. Not that we're like never gonna drink again, but just taking a little bit of time off to kind of reset and really look at our habits. And anyway, it's been really nice. I'm feeling really energized. But where was I going with this? Why do you guys watch me? I cannot keep a train of thought going for the life of me. Also, this is growing on me more and more. This is the CoverGirl All Over Dewy Tint. That is so beautiful. I do not need a highlighter. I can tell you that. I just feel like the dew is strong with this one. This is in Dreamy Pink. That one is also gonna move over to my vanity. I'm really still enjoying that so much. Why have lots of your recent videos been sponsored? That's a great question. And this is actually another thing I talked with Taylor about, was like sponsorships and handling them. And we actually have a lot of the same sponsors. Because we have similar channels, it kind of makes sense that certain brands that would work with one of us might work with the other, you know what I mean? I actually don't have more than I used to. It will appear that way because I'm doing less videos. And so that's something I really struggled with. I used to think like, I can't scale back from my 3 video schedule to 2, even though I really need to. But I felt like I couldn't because I had these sponsorships. Most of my sponsorships are lined up a year in advance because I work with the same brands for years, really. And so I'll sign a contract with them for 6 months or a year or, you know, like quarterly. And so since that's already signed and planned for, this was all back when I was still operating on a 3 video a week schedule. So if I was only doing 1 sponsored video a week, that would be, you know, 1 out of every 3 videos was sponsored. Well, now that I've scaled back, I still have those same sponsorships that I've signed for, but I'm only doing 2 videos a week. So it was something I really struggled with, and I kept telling myself, like, Jessica, you can't, you know, I can't get out of these contracts necessarily, or at least not easily get out of them. And on top of that, you know, I didn't want it to feel that like I was just every video was sponsored. Like there are certain YouTubers I watch, every video there's a sponsored, it doesn't really bother me. Maybe because I'm a YouTuber and I understand it. Like, YouTube does not pay what you think it pays. I always laugh when I look at like the, whatever, is it Social Blade or whatever it is that like shares what they project someone is making. It is never like anywhere near correct. So that just makes me laugh. It's never like anywhere in any videos I've seen where they're like projecting what's on, like it's never even close. But like the reality is YouTube does not pay. I mean, it still is my job. I mean, I don't want to complain, but I guess my point is like sponsorships, especially when it's a company I feel strongly about and I genuinely love and use, it's a great match because then it helps us pay the bills and save for college for our girls and that. I'm also, you know, getting to support a brand, like I said, I already know and like. So anyway, my point is that's why it seems like there's more sponsored content. It's because the ratio is off. I'm still doing the same amount of sponsored videos, but now it's 1 out of every 2 because of what I'd signed. So I'm trying to think, you know, as I look into 2023 and some of the same brands are reaching out to me for like contracts for 2023, really thinking about like what, you know, do I want to scale back on that and take a pay cut? Because I don't want you guys to feel bombarded either. It's just hard. So I'm trying to find that balance, but just know this was kind of stuff that was already predestined, literally. So we'll see kind of what the future holds with that. And I'm certainly open to any of your guys' thoughts down below. Okay, I just put on the NYX Whipped Caviar Liner. I like that shade. This freaking lip gloss is still one of the best out there. It's the Physicians Formula Diamond Plumper. If you have not bought this, please do yourself a favor and go out and get it. This shade is my favorite. It is Champagne Cushion Cut. It's kind of a neutrally, but it's not super peach. It's not super brown. It's not super anything. It's like right in the middle. And it has like a slight minty tingle. Honestly, it's kind of a dupe for something I've recently tried. I'm gonna add that to my dupes list. I'm not gonna share yet. I mean, you already know what the dupe is, so what does it matter, I guess. But I'm gonna add that to my list to test it out for my next dupes video because holy moly, I think it just may be. But it's just such a comfortable thing, man. All right, so now we're done doing makeup. We can just focus on these last few questions. So who do you think your kids look like more, me or Tyler? Genevieve absolutely 100% looks like Tyler. Felicity looks like me, and it's funny, like, I'll see if I can find a baby picture myself. I'll pop it up on the screen here. I mean, I know I can find one. Anyway, I have a widow's peak. I always have, and Felicity 100% has the same widow's peak, and it's so cute. She looks like a little character from the Munsters. It's so cute. I just love it. She looks so much like I did when I was a baby. Tyler and I look a lot alike, so it's funny. People will see Felicity, and a lot of you guys will comment and say, oh my gosh, Felicity looks just like Genevieve. And I do think they look similar, but Felicity looks a lot like my side of the family, and Genevieve looks a lot like Tyler. So Tyler and I look similar anyway, so it's kind of one of those things that, you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I don't know. But yeah, that is, in our opinion, that is how it all shakes out. How long did your postpartum hair loss last? Still going on, baby. I just feel, I mean, I don't think it's like wildly obvious. It's one of those things that for yourself, you are aware of it. It's not a big deal. I mean, it happens to most and it eventually all goes back to normal. So I don't stress about it too much. I did buy the, what's it called? The Vegamore like hair serum in their shampoo and conditioner. I don't know if it's helping or not. I just got it. So I've been messing with that. I will say this, it is expensive, so it better freaking work. But second of all, the shampoo and conditioner from that brand smells so wildly good to me, like Satsuma, that kind of smell, if you know what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So that is like 10 out of 10 smell-wise, and my hair ends up smelling so good for like 2 days after. So still going on. I don't think I'm losing as much as rapidly as I was, so that is good, but it's still happening. How do you feel confident taking Felicity out on your own? My gosh, I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine. So I think you just have to rip the Band-Aid off. And the thing that I always told myself with like the first few times I would leave, like when Genevieve was a baby, and especially now, like taking Genevieve and Felicity out alone, I've only done that a couple times because it is an overwhelming thought, like, okay, what if something goes wrong? But in my mind, I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, one of them has a meltdown. Like, okay, so what? If you have to leave the store, like my mom has told me she literally had a full cart of groceries and like one of us had a meltdown and she just left the cart, took us, and drove us home. I'm sure that wasn't very, like I'm sure the grocery clerk, that wasn't, but the point is just that, you know, if it ever really went south, you can always go home. Like it's not that big of a deal. You can always leave. Leaving is always an option. So you know, with that worst case scenario in my mind, I think that has helped me a lot because it's never going to be as bad as that typically. And so yeah, you just kind of rip the Band-Aid off. Once you do it once, you instantly are like, okay, I can do this. And then every time you do it, you're like, yeah, no big deal, you know, and it just is what it is. So that is my advice. So I think that is everything we're gonna chat about. I hope you enjoyed this coffee chat video. I do one of these every single month. I will link my playlist of previous coffee chat Get Ready With Me videos down below if you want to check them out. I love you guys so much. Thank you again to HelloFresh for sponsoring a portion of this video. Again, if you want to check out HelloFresh for yourself, you can go to HelloFresh.com and use my code JBraun65 to get 65% off and free shipping. I'll have the link and code right at the top of the description box, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.